Hey guys, welcome back. It is CanadienSaintNk, this time with a tutorial on Horde Base build. Now, I did one before where we talked about a basic Horde base, and generally that covers you for lower level zones where you don't necessarily have to fight higher level zombies. This base, while extremely simple looking, is probably your best bet to cover late game content. You know, those challenge waves 40, 50, or even the new weekly challenge horde mode that they came out with. Now I'll get to a brief explanation on this. Well, accidentally upgrading the piece. The general gist is build a big old square around your pyramid, and then put a big old square on top, and then put a big old pyramid on top of that square. Pretty simple, guys, but the theory behind it is the lobber is going to have to break that if they want to get to your base, and that should be more than enough time for you to go out there, put a lobber shield up, and while that is happening, should have already happened at the beginning of the wave, you know, in those first 30 to a minute and a half, depending on how much time you have between wave, you're going to determine where the enemy is going to come from. So let's say on this one, like it tells me right now, they're going to come directly from the south. We know already from the horde maps the way they are that if they come from the south on a certain amplifier placement, let's say you're in I think it's the southwest, and they come from the south, your base is right up against the cliff. If you have the max amount of space allotted to your horde base and you go all the way out, which I have, you're going to be right up against the cliff, and all you want to do is just go up against the cliff here and just make a wall and then a backward stairs there. If you really wanted to be safe, just put some more walls behind those. What that'll do is that'll cause them to drop down around the cliff and then go underneath the base and then into your horde base. Now, this is pretty straightforward. This is already opened up, but basically you're just going to want to trap this out. You can build a little gas chamber here. You're gonna have to craft some traps. Now obviously I have a ton of more materials than most people do. Now don't be discouraged. Just gonna craft as many traps as I can here. Don't be discouraged.
Exit the staging area.
Thank you, Ray.
Progress will be saved automatically.
A lot of these walls you could just bring to tier 2. Even this base itself you could bring to tier 2, and you should have more than enough resources. I think that's only about like most of the way through your tier 3 horde tree. The things you want to focus on mainly taking to tier 3 is everything above. So these ceiling pieces, maybe like the first corner piece that anchors it and this wall, just take those to 3, and it's not hard. They give us a lot of wood to work with, so that's definitely possible. As far as the roof itself, you want to take this to level 3, and the pyramid you could probably take to level 2 like I did, or even level 1. It's just a little bit of extra buffer. Make sure to make the giant pyramid. If you just make a whole bunch of little squares like this, if a lobber comes and throws it on top, what can end up happening is they could end up hitting the ceiling piece below it and then dealing damage to that on top of the damage that they've dealt to this small pyramid. So make sure to elongate these whenever possible. Obviously if they hit in between, they can damage the one to the side, but that's still preferable than damaging the thing directly below it, because if they really break through that, then you're going to start to have problems because they now have an edge on your base. But if you build it like this, they won't be able to get that edge for a long time, and hopefully by that time you have your lobber shield up to prevent them from coming at you. I was going to show you how to build a quick little gas chamber here. Pretty simple. You want to alternate your wall launchers and your wall dynamos and your floor spikes. And the pièce de resistance is these. Now if you get a smasher wave, what you could do is you could flip these like so. You just want to be careful if there's a flinger wave to not flip them. Basically what this will do, you can only you should only flip them on the side that the smashers are coming from. So let's say they're coming directly from the south. With these 3 flipped like this, the smasher should not charge at the base. Now if the smasher is going to come from the southwest, because you know the path is going to come, If you know the pathway is going to take the smasher around to the southwest, and he's going to come around here, then absolutely take these walls as well and put them like so. What this will do is this will stop the smasher from smashing, but if even for a moment, let's say this is like so, and they're coming directly from the south, they will smash directly at the base, or charge, whatever you want to call it. However, in the later waves, you generally are using your demolitionist constructor or your controller, maybe even your machinist, which they're coming out with a new one soon. But you're not really relying on your base to stop smashers. Even these traps themselves, not really useful. But you want to have something, and this is what the base offers for maneuverability, so I'm just going to quickly destroy these and show you the absolute maneuverability of this base. The reason why this base, even though it's less complicated than my actual basic Horde Base build, this is more suited for the advanced Horde Base because it's simple like this. So let's say, you know, they come from the northwest. All you have to do, and keep in mind guys, this only takes one extra plot in your horde tree to get this amount of distance around your pyramid. All you have to do, I mean, shoot, you could even just do like so. Oh, forgive my my console commands here. The editing's a little bit tough. And what you're gonna want to do is just gonna want to put gas traps here. You're gonna want to put floor spikes on the bottom, which I believe. I don't know if 4 crafted, but let's see here. Anyways, the general gist is you want to put your decoy underneath all of these. Even if you're versus 197 enemies, which I believe is challenge wave 50. I don't remember too well. Even if you're up against these and you just keep your decoys up, this keeps them already funneled. And what you want to do, so that side's closed, this side's closed. They're coming through here now. They're coming directly from the northwest. You could easily funnel them in. Put your decoy down. Everything's settled. You just let the gas traps kill things. You could even throw 1 or 2 quad launchers out there if need be. If you're dealing with a lot of bees, a lot of yellow lobbers, what you could do is you could build some extra floors around your base. Put a couple healing pads down if you have the extra fibrous herbs. So be it. You know, it offers you solace, a safe place behind walls where you could easily put your decoy down in the middle of a whole bunch of gas traps. Just kind of, you know, keep the wave a little bit safer. Now, it doesn't offer complete protection. Obviously, smashers will charge, and they'll charge by you, and then if they hit you, you're dead. You know, barring a bunch of 125s being fully bumped to 140, maybe max health and shields. Maybe you might have like 25% health left. But for the most part, smashers and whatnot are going to cause you a lot of issues already, so not really something to worry about. As far as propanes goes, taking out all those floors and ceilings, as I just did. But if a propane just came up to your decoy, obviously you wouldn't be able to kill it before he detonates. He'll spike it at his feet, unavoidable, but that propane will kill zombies a lot better than you ever will. So again, just keep your decoy rotation up in the funnel. So we could try another side now, but I'm pretty sure you guys get the general gist of it here. Now the reason why I keep, oh, you can even do like this, that I keep a 2 wide ceiling here, well 3 wide, sorry, and 2 deep, is because let's say we get a propane coming through here and we've got our trap tunnel built, and this is if, of course, you're going into like say a 20 or a 30 challenge wave. Let's say a propane detonates it in the middle of this tunnel, and your walls are made out of wood just like mine because, you know, resources, they might be scarce while you're doing this. If it blows up those wooden walls, these side walls will still be intact. So if you make these middle ceilings, out of metal, so long as these side ceilings stay up, everything stays intact. right? Like, we don't have to worry about it, even though everything inside the tunnel is dead. As long as you keep your gas traps going underneath, or electric fields if you have those super pumped up, you have a kill tunnel still intact. You just need to set up, you know, the sides, which is negligible at that point.
When your design is
But
complete,
this is...
exit the staging area.
Oh, thanks,
Your
Ray.
progress will be saved automatically.
Oh, good. This is the advanced Horde Base build, guys. Like, there's nothing around it. It's very simple. Nothing complicated about it. We we have it all set here, guys. You edit as you go along. Don't lock yourself into a place too much. So, for instance, if you know on that northwestern Horde Base location that at first they're going to attack directly from the north, so even though you close off this western side, eventually they can come from that western side. So you don't want to build too much like this, and then have, you know, everything that's coming from the northwest have to try and funnel to this. So if you just build something simple, guys, keep your decoys under it. Really, anything can be soloable with nice ease. All you have to do, just make sure you keep the funnel going, you know. It's very simple. It sounds very simple, but at the same time, it takes a lot of coordination between your teammates, because one constructor can't decoy for the entire team. And even though you recognize that there is a choke point on this base that you could easily set up at any point in time, doesn't mean your teammates will. So make sure to communicate properly with your teammates, guys, and make sure you're all on the same page. As well, if you are going to do the constructor method, I hope you are all on the same page, because if two of you go down at a time, you're going to start losing ground. And having a funnel like that where you could drag them back to it while they're within sight of the base. So basically what's going to happen, you know, two guys go down, you lose some forward momentum. The zombies are just going to come at the base and start beating at it. But let's say, you know, you got this nice open crevice in your wall now. This is where you've been funneling them to. You already have protection being behind the walls, assuming, of course, that entrance and this entrance over here are closed. You already have protection behind the walls. They're not beating you. They're coming towards the base to be beaten. There's two of you left alive. Your cooldowns are probably, you know, 2 or 3 seconds away from coming up. All you have to do, get one of your guys up, place your decoy back here as a controller, even a demolitionist. You'll have enough range to drag everything off the base unless it is on the opposite side of the corner. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing this build. It's very convenient. You create the last checkpoint where you guys can immediately fight back everything. Even smashers have difficulty getting away, because again, smashers are only going to charge at things around the base or directly connected to the base. But because this is a pyramid, they're no longer going to charge at it, or if they do, they're just going to go over it anyways. Not a big deal, right? So it can drag smashers back to it underneath your gas traps, underneath your quad launchers, and then into your constructor decoy rotation. So keep that in mind when doing this, guys. And there's pretty much nothing else to it. That's our Horde Base, advanced Horde Base tutorial. It's very simple, very straightforward. I wish you guys the best of luck in your weekly Horde challenges these days. And let me know how it goes in the comments. Now we're going to move on to